If you're new to my YouTube channel, please click that subscribe button and remember to click the bell icon to get notifications of all my uploads throughout the week. Hi everyone, it's Mike here. So it's Saturday the 2nd of June, the first Saturday in a brand new month, which also means that it's a brand new challenge over on our Mission Inspiration Facebook group. Now this month the prompts have been set by my good friend Gina Ahrens from the US. Now if you've never joined in with the Mission Inspiration challenges before and want to have a go this month, then you can follow the link that's on the screen or the clickable link that's in the description area below this video. So I'm going to switch over to my overhead camera now and get cracking on my art journal page using Gina's prompts for the month, and then I'll join with you again back at the end. So this is the prompt sheet for the prompts for June, set by guest controller Gina Ahrens. So I'm going to be working, as usual, in my Mission Inspiration art journal, which is 8x8, and I've taken a leaf out already. This is £140 hot pressed watercolour cardstock, which is also 300 GSM in European, so it's nice and smooth. So the first step that I've got is to cover your page with words, writing or text. So I could scribble all over, but that's just not me. So instead what I'm going to do is I've taken some pages from an old encyclopedia, and I'm going to tear them up, and I'm actually going to cover the page. I've got 2 pages. It's got a bit of a tear on it. Get rid of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to rip it up and add in bits going in different directions like so. So I'm going to start off, but I'm only going to try and do it so that it's about half and half. So let's start off with this one. Now I could stick these down with Collage glue stick, which probably would be quicker. Let's see if I can remember which drawer he put his glue in. Which one is it? It's that one there, look. So I have a Collage glue stick. I could do with something, there we go. So we'll pick the one that's got the most writing on it and not as many pictures. So of course you can always stick this down with matte medium if you're that way inclined, if you want. I'm just feeling a bit collagey today, if that's a real word. So let's stick that down there. Just give it a smooth. So next bit I'm going to do, let's see, we'll go down this way. So it doesn't matter if it overlaps a little bit. So I think about there will do. Actually, it might be a bit too big, that one. Have I got a smaller glue stick? Of course I have. I've got one of the Dilutions diary glue sticks. That probably would be, there you go, you see? A lot better. I'm not going completely all over it. I don't mind if there's some texture on this, whether the corners lift up. Not that bothered. I will trim off the excess paper from around the outside later on. Okay, so next, let's do another piece. About there. So about halfway again. Now, as with most of these Mission Inspiration art journal pages, I haven't really got a clear idea in my head where I'm going with it, apart from today, because I have pretty much got an idea of what I want to use, because I've read through the prompts already, and they kind of spoke to me. So I may have to put two pieces down there, but that's fine. We can improvise. And yeah, the prompts kind of spoke to me, and as I was reading them, I started to form a picture in my head of what I could do, what I could include, what images to use as my focal points. So in that case, when that happens, it's best to go with your creative intuition, which is pretty much what I'm going to do. There we go. And I missed a bit in the corner there, but I will cover that. I'll just take a slither. That will do. Okay, so my page is now completely covered with words, writing or text. So I've got a full page of encyclopedia book text. So that is cool. So I'm going to leave that for a minute or two to dry and set, and then I'll probably trim off the excess around the edges, and then I'll be right back once that's dry. Oh look, I had a full half page there for the glue. Never mind. So the glue's had time to set and dry. It's not curled the paper too much, which is good, and as you can see, I have trimmed off all the excess around the edges. So we'll just bring in the prompt sheet again. So we've got number 2, add a wash of colour across your page. Now we've got the 3 colours to choose from or to combine today, so I've got a little pot of water just here. So Gina, when she set the prompts, obviously used the colour names from Dina Wakely's paints, because I've also got ocean, lemon and lime. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, I've got some water, and I did have a brush to hand. Oh, I keep putting things down today and forgetting where I'm putting them. There we go. I've got a brush. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of water, and I'm going to take some of the green, the lime. A little bleg. Some kitchen roll. Oh, I can't speak today at all. Not very eloquent today. And it's not down to lack of coffee, or perhaps it's all down to too much coffee. Get some water. I'm actually going to just apply a couple of spots, tiny little bits of paint just on the page. Grab some water, and I'm going to literally just paint it on. And then I'm going to grab the yellow, get some water on my brush, and then just walk that into. Kind of blend the colour together. I'm not going to do it with the blue, because I want to add some bluey highlights a bit later on. So start off with that yellow, brush a quick clean. We just add a little bit more of the green just down at the bottom there. Pick up a little bit more paint, a bit more water, and then just walk that through. I'd say that was about half and half, wouldn't you? Just quickly clean that brush off. There we go. Lovely. Okay, so I did the lemon, I did the lime. I can pretty much forget about those now, so I need just to quickly dry this off. And I'll be right back. Okay, so that's all nice and dry. Step number 3 is to collage tissue paper onto your page. So for that, I've broken out a roll of my Tim Holtz Ideology collage paper, and this is the, what do they call this one? The birdie one. I don't think it has a name. I can't see a name on the actual label itself, but it's the one that's got the birds in. So that's what I've used. So I've ripped off a little piece of it and I've just torn around some of the edges. And I've got some matte medium here, and I'm just going to grab, shall we use the same brush? Let's just give that a quick clean. Should have done this earlier, sorry. There we go. Ooh. I'll clean that off. And then we'll add a little bit of matte medium. I'm hoping this hasn't blocked again. Oh, typical. Let's just grab some other. Let's just grab some other matte medium. Matte medium, there we go. Right. Not the indigo blue one because that's blocked on me, so we'll use a little bit of the Galleria matte medium, which obviously hasn't. There we go. Perhaps I should have shook that up a little bit first. It's quite runny. Okay, so tissue paper. Let's get that tissue paper on and down. There we go. Of course, with it being tissue paper, the matte medium will go through it, straight through it, and I'm hoping that it's going to disappear or dissipate into the background. So I've not used this tissue paper yet. This is a brand new roll for me. It's been sitting there ever since it came out and I've not really thought about using it. So I'm hoping it's going to work that way. It's supposed to, but supposed to and will are two totally different things, aren't they? Some products react differently to how they're supposed to. Birdies. Birdies. Okay, and finally, another little splodget. We'll do that at the bottom. Like so. And again, I'll trim off the edges after it's dry. That's cool. Lovely. Okay, so bring up the heat gun again. I'll give this a blast, get it dried, and I'll be right back. So my tissue paper is now completely dry and kind of disappeared off into the background, which is just what I wanted. That book text is starting to show through, so we're building up some nice layers of colour and texture in there. So step number 4 then is to add sketchy marks. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to bring out a couple of my Pigma Micron pens. I've got a number 5 and a number 8. Number 8 being the thickest, number 5 being the thinnest of the two. So to add sketchy marks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a kind of wavy border going all around the page. The tissue isn't the focal, that's just going to be background. I'm not too bothered about covering some of the bits and pieces up. And then also I'm going to add a few kind of sketchy scribbles down here at the bottom. So just a few kind of doodly bits. Okay, so a couple of doodly bits and pieces, and then just using that darker one or thicker pen, I'm just going to add some dots. I know they'll disappear off into the background, but just all adds to a little bit of decoration. Just make them a bit bigger over there. Cool, that'll do. Don't need to go overboard. Okay, so that's going to need to dry for a few seconds. So what have we got? Okay, so glue something from nature to your page. Now this is where I'm going to just switch over or switch around some of the prompts a little bit. So I've got add fabric, ribbon, lace or trim, and then glue something from nature to your page. So I'm going to start creating now a little cluster of bits and bobs. So I've also got some more of that book text, I've got another little ephemera card, I've got some craft cardstock, and somewhere I picked up, when I was walking Mr. Bentley this morning, some twigs. So I'm going to incorporate these onto my page somewhere. So, but I'm going to create a kind of focal point cluster. So I've already ripped some of this. Don't want a huge big piece. I'm just trying to, that's it. So I'll just try and tear off some of those edges just to get rid of that hard edge. And I'll just turn the bird's head, but that doesn't matter. It's the overall look and feel really. Okay, so let's just move that to one side. So I'm going to put a cluster of this kind of stuff together, and then use another piece of that craft card. Tail that edge. Okay, so I'm going to add the craft card down there, and then we're going to create that cluster over here. And then I've got some twine that was sent to me in Happy Mail, and it's got some feathers embedded or threaded onto it, and I've probably just knotted the whole thing now, but let's see if we can try and unwind it all. So what I'm trying to do, or what I wanted to try and do, is to, let's see if we can, are they knotted? No, I can move them, that's good. Okay, so I've got 3 feathers. So what I'm trying to do is try and wrap these twigs together using the twine. And then I'm going to wrap that round one more time, and then see if I can, with my scissors, snip that off. And then tie that off in a knot at the top. Of course, the twine is all natural. I'm going to use some more of this in a little while. So I've got those lovely feathers coming down at the bottom. I'll just trim that twine off a little bit, maybe a little bit too long. So now I've got that sorted, I can start creating my cluster here. So I'm going to use the collage glue again. So start off that piece there. And then I've got the book text. Some of that showing down at the bottom. And the other piece. And then our ephemera bit. Okay, now add fabric, ribbon, lace or trim. So I've got some burlap. Again, this was sent to me in Happy Mail, so I'm going to cut a thin strip like so. And then I'm going to lay that across the bottom, and that's where my twigs are going to sit. This is why I've kind of jumbled it up a little bit. So glue something from Nature to your page, so we'll be gluing that down, add fabric ribbon, lace or trim. So I'm kind of mixing those two together. So what I need to do is I need to grab some heavy gel medium. So let me see if I can grab some from somewhere. Extra heavy gloss gel medium, there we go. And I want a little spatula. Okay, so lift that up. So I'm just going to put a bead of that gel medium just across there, and then just lay that burlap down. Just push it in, and then grab some more and then just work out where my twigs are going to go. Probably about there, like in that. So I'm going to add some onto the twig. This will dry completely clear. I'm hoping it will disappear completely, leaving those feathers to dangle. Okay, just drop that in some water. Just grab a mouthful of coffee. I don't know whether you saw that. I've got a bunny rabbit on my mug. Okay. So while that's drying, let's have a look at the rest of the prompts. So it says add brads, staples and/or clips. Okay, so in my collezione, I have some clips. So that can go on there. And I did have somewhere, there we go. I also have a twisty clip, which I'm going to add over at this side. This is the reason why I didn't stick them down flat. Left the edges sticking up a little bit. So push that clip into there like so. I've got that little clip there. So I've added brads, staples or clips. So clips, bulldog clips. And then it says add a word, phrase or quote. Now then. I've got a little word token that has the word breathe on it. Now if I jump back to the prompt list, you'll see that I've got the word breathe as one of the words, which is just perfect. And I've added a little garment pin just through, but not just happy with that, I've also cut, or I did just cut, a piece of thickish twine as well that I want to utilise and bring that in. Let's see if I can wrap this around, or maybe even get it to go through if I'm lucky. I might have to remove that garment pin first. Let's just take that off first. Right, let's see if I can pull, see if I can get all that string through. Probably won't be able to, or maybe, oh look, yes! Brilliant. So trim off the excess there, don't want too much of that. That's perfecto. And then I can also add in, push that pin through the fabric. So we've also got that pin there, and then I can add a little blob of that gel medium to the back, or I've got somewhere some 3D foam pads which will do the job most adequately. I'll stick that on the back, and I'm going to add that just there. Just there. Now, somewhere in my collection I've got some distress crayons, or did have. Don't use them very often. There we go. And I've got picket fence. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to see whether I can pull that word out. A good use for them. Okay, now you may have noticed I haven't used that blue anywhere. Just try and stick that glue back down. Hopefully that will stick. It will stick, I'm sure it will. Okay, so I haven't used the blue anywhere. But what I also want to do is I want to add in some lighter highlights too. So I'm just going to clean off that spatula. And I've got some buff, of that Dina Wakley buff. So what I want to do is just add just a tiny, tiny amount. And I want to just add a little bit. I'll just keep adding a little bit onto my spatula. Just at the top. Just a few little bits. Just helps to break it up, give it a little bit more of a shabby chicy kind of feel to it. Want to add a little bit, get some on my finger. Just maybe just break up that clip. Okay, so maybe a little bit more down at the bottom. just lightens it a little. I just want to add just a few tiny touches of that blue in there. And to do that, I think I'm just going to take a little bit of the blue and I think I'm just going to add a few teeny tiny little splatters. Just get some water. And then just add the tiniest amount. That'll do. The teeniest, tiniest amount. Okay, let's have a look and take stock at where we are. So, cover your page with words, writing or text. Done that. Add a wash of colour across the page, so we went from yellow to the green using the lemon and the lime. Collage tissue paper onto your page, where we use that Tim Holtz tissue paper. Add sketchy marks, done that around the border, created some doodly effects in the background. Glue something from nature to your page, so a small twig that I picked up on my walk with Mr. Bentley this morning. Add fabric, ribbon, lace or trim, so I have my strip of burlap into the background. Add brad, staples or clips. I have a swirly clip, I've got a little mini bulldog clip that I've added, and then add a word, phrase or quote, and I've got a little metal charm with the word breathe, which is also part of one of the words for inspiration for the page. And the colours we've used the lemon and the lime in the background, and I've added splatters of that ocean just to break it up a little bit. So I think that is definitely mission accomplished. So I hope you enjoyed watching that art journal page come together. I love the way the fact those feathers dangle. Now that gel medium still hasn't set completely. It's still a white, so it will disappear completely to go transparent once it's fully dry, but it'll probably take about 24 hours to do. And I also haven't poked the holes out yet, ready to put it back in my Mission Inspiration art journal. Now with that bulk of texture, it's not going to close properly now, but hey, it was really fun to do. Loved doing these prompts for this month. So thank you, Gina, for a cracking set of prompts to get your teeth into. So I hope you did enjoy that. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up, share the video with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of this video. But also, don't forget, if you'd like to join in with the Mission Inspiration challenges this month, then just follow the link or click that link in the description area below this video. That's all from me. I'll see you all again in a few days. Bye for now. I'd also like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, without whose generosity and support these videos would not be possible. Thank you.